It happened again at dinner last night. His sister, Lisa, asked me in front of everyone if I was ever going to get a real job instead of working freelance. And he just laughed.
Oh, Sarah, that's awful. That's a direct attack on your worth.
It is. And when we were driving home, I told him how much it hurt. And he said, "Oh, she was just kidding. You're too sensitive. You know how she is." He didn't defend me, Chloe. He actually defended her to me.
Wow. So the wound isn't just the sister's comment, it's Mark's inaction.
Exactly. I feel completely exposed and deeply unloved. It's like my partner is choosing his family's comfort over my safety and respect. If he won't defend me in front of them, how can I trust him to defend us in life?
You've hit the core of the issue. You're not fighting about a job comment, you're fighting about loyalty and boundaries. Let's look at the underlying dynamics. Your primary need is protection and loyalty. You need Mark to clearly show that you are now his primary loyalty, the most important emotional unit in his life. Mark, however, is stuck in a different emotional landscape.
What landscape is that?
It's the fear of confrontation and the pressure of his original loyalty. His family has had his loyalty his entire life. To stand up to his sister feels to him like a massive betrayal of his family identity, and he dreads the potential conflict, guilt, or rejection from them.
So he sacrifices my feelings to keep the peace with them.
Precisely. His goal in that moment is not protecting you. It's minimizing the immediate conflict and discomfort for himself. He tells you, you're too sensitive, not because he believes it, but because it's the easiest path to silence the argument and avoid confronting his sister. He prioritizes his comfort over your safety.
That makes me feel sick, but it explains so much. It means his default setting is still prioritizing his childhood unit over our partnership unit.
Yes, you are asking for a crucial boundary-setting moment, and he is failing to deliver. His lack of defense isn't a lack of love, it's a lack of courage to change the family system he grew up in. The impact on you, though, is severe, the erosion of trust. When you constantly feel criticized by his family and unprotected by him, it confirms your deepest fear, that you are fundamentally not a priority.
So, how do I make him understand that his silence is actively damaging our relationship, not just creating minor discomfort, because yelling about it later clearly doesn't work?
Yelling later makes him defensive. We need to frame this conversation not as an attack on his sister or his family, but as a non-negotiable step to save your relationship. We need to introduce the concept of boundary setting as an act of love. You need to approach Mark as a team to solve an external problem, not as an opponent. You must define a non-negotiable boundary that both of you agree to enforce together.
A non-negotiable boundary, what does that look like?
It means you clearly state what actions are unacceptable and what the consequence will be before the next family event. You start by validating his fear. You could say, Mark, I know it's hard to confront Lisa, and I know you want peace, but the current situation is non-sustainable. When Lisa attacks my career, it damages my sense of self-worth, and more importantly, it deeply damages my ability to trust your protection.
And then I set the boundary.
Yes, the boundary must be actionable and focused on his behavior. You could say, my boundary is this. If your family criticizes me, my job, or our life choices, I need you to step in immediately and change the subject or defend me. If you laugh or stay silent, I will end the conversation and leave the room. And if this happens 3 times, we will not attend family events for 1 month.
Wow, that's a real consequence. That puts the responsibility for the boundary back on us as a couple, not on them.
Exactly. You are asking him to choose his primary loyalty, you, and you are giving him a clear script for how to act. His failure to boundary set is not a sign of affection for his sister, it's a lack of practice in prioritizing his new family unit. The focus shifts from Lisa is mean to Mark, how are we going to manage Lisa's behavior together? The next practical step is creating a team script for the next family interaction. Mark needs simple, pre-rehearsed phrases he can use without panicking. He needs an action plan, not just a lecture. What kind of phrase? Something short and neutral that clearly signals the boundary. Instead of getting into a debate, he needs to deflect. If Lisa says, real job, Mark needs to say immediately, Lisa, that topic is off limits. Let's talk about something else. Or even simpler, that's enough, we're changing the subject now. He needs to practice this until it's automatic, removing his fear of searching for the perfect answer. And what about when he fails? Because he might. He might. And that is when you both execute the agreed upon consequence. If he fails to use the script and lets the criticism stand, you calmly stand up and say, Mark, I'll meet you in the car in 5 minutes. You leave. This isn't punishment, it's simply enforcing the boundary. This action communicates two things. To Mark, your safety is more important than his discomfort. To his family, Mark is part of a unit that protects itself, and they can no longer cross that line without a consequence. You're teaching Mark that the discomfort of disappointing his sister is minor compared to the risk of losing your trust. So the core lesson is this: your partner's loyalty must be to the relationship unit above all others. You are fighting for validation, but you need to be fighting for structural boundaries.
I understand. I need to stop begging for his protection and start co-creating a loyal boundary system with him. He needs to choose his primary loyalty, us, and I need to support him by giving him a simple script and enforcing the consequence when the boundary is crossed.
Precisely. Now, finish your coffee. It's time to draft that team script.